Welcome back, MVP Road Car family. Today we're diving into something that's been stirring up a ton of excitement in the muscle car and performance community. After decades of being a name that lived more in history books than on the road, Plymouth is making a comeback with the 2026 GTX, and this car is aiming to blend heritage muscle with modern engineering in a way that could really shake up the market. This isn't just a nostalgia play. It's Plymouth staking a claim that they can compete with the best in design, technology, and performance today, while also staying true to that raw, aggressive American muscle identity. The first thing that hits you when you walk up to the GTX is the exterior presence. The body proportions are bold, muscular, and unmistakably rooted in classic Mopar DNA. You see cues from the late 60s and early 70s GTX models in the wide stance, squared shoulders, and strong character lines that run from the front fender down to the rear haunches. But instead of feeling like a retro throwback, the design team has modernized every surface with sharper creases, more sculpted aerodynamics, and a cleaner integration of lighting technology. The front fascia is dominated by a low, menacing grille that's flanked by slim LED headlamps with a unique DRL signature, giving it a predatory look when it's coming up behind you at night. The hood is long and features functional heat extractors that not only look aggressive but also serve a real purpose in cooling the massive engine sitting underneath. Move along the side profile, and you notice how the designers balanced sleekness with muscle. The roofline slopes gently toward the rear, almost like a fastback, while the strong wheel arches frame 20 or 21-inch wheels depending on trim. The wheels themselves come in multiple finishes, with some trims offering forged alloys that reduce unsprung weight. Plymouth has worked hard on aerodynamics too. The subtle side skirts and rear diffuser aren't just for show. They're tuned for stability at high speeds and efficiency. Out back, the GTX gets a wide rear stance with full-width LED taillights that nod to the heritage cars but are completely modern in execution. The dual exhaust outlets, depending on whether you go with the gas or hybrid performance model, either scream muscle car or growl with a more subdued yet still throaty note. The car overall gives you the impression of an old-school street king reimagined for today's roads and highways. Step inside, and the transformation is even more apparent. The interior of the 2026 Plymouth GTX is where muscle car simplicity meets modern luxury and digital innovation. You're greeted by heavily bolstered sports seats that are wrapped in a mix of premium leather and Alcantara, depending on the trim. These aren't just show seats. They've been engineered for comfort during long cruises, but also provide the lateral support you need when you throw the car into corners. The driver's seat position is low, almost cockpit-like, giving you that classic muscle car vibe where you feel connected to the machine. Front and center on the dash is a massive 14-inch infotainment touchscreen, seamlessly integrated with Plymouth's latest Uconnect-based software. It's fast, intuitive, and supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus built-in navigation with real-time performance overlays. Right in front of the driver, you get a 12-inch fully digital gauge cluster that can be customized to show everything from classic analog-style dials to track-focused telemetry with G-forces, lap times, and boost pressure. Plymouth also added a head-up display option so you can keep your eyes on the road. Materials inside feel like a step above what people might expect from the Plymouth name. There are soft touch surfaces throughout, real aluminum or carbon fiber trim depending on the package, and an overall sense of solidity. Even the rear seats, which in muscle cars often get neglected, are surprisingly usable for adults. Though, of course, this is still a coupe at heart. Cargo space is respectable too, thanks to a deep trunk, making the GTX practical enough to daily if you want. Plymouth didn't ignore the modern buyer's needs either. There are multiple USB-C ports, wireless charging pads, ambient interior lighting, and an optional premium Harman Kardon sound system that absolutely fills the cabin. Now let's talk about what really matters with a name like GTX, performance. Plymouth is offering the 2026 GTX with a couple of different powertrain options to appeal to both traditionalists and those who want cutting-edge technology. The base model starts with a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 producing around 550 horsepower, paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This setup sends power to the rear wheels and delivers that raw, classic American muscle car experience. 0 to 60 happens in about 3.8 seconds, and top speed is well into the 180 mile/hour range. Step up to the GTX performance trim, and things get even more intense. Here you're looking at a high-output version of that same engine, pushing close to 720 horsepower, with optional all-wheel drive to help manage the torque. With AWD engaged, you're hitting 60 in just about 3.2 seconds, which puts it right in the fight with modern supercars. The exhaust note on this trim is tuned to give you goosebumps, deep, aggressive, and unapologetically loud when you want it, but with an active valve system to keep it livable in the neighborhood. For those who want cutting-edge tech, Plymouth also offers a hybrid performance variant. It pairs a twin-turbo V6 with an electric motor system, combining for about 650 horsepower, but with instant electric torque that makes the car feel brutally quick off the line. The hybrid setup also allows limited electric-only driving in the city and improves fuel efficiency compared to the V8 models. And because of the added weight of the battery pack, Plymouth engineers recalibrated the suspension with adaptive dampers and active torque vectoring to make this car surprisingly nimble in the corner. Speaking of suspension, the GTX rides on a new chassis platform that's both stiffer and lighter than previous Mopar products. The adaptive suspension lets you switch from comfortable cruising to track-ready stiffness at the push of a button. Brembo brakes with massive rotors are standard on higher trims, and they deliver serious stopping power to match the engine output. Steering is precise with good feedback, giving you confidence whether you're carving mountain roads or just cruising downtown. In terms of technology and safety, the GTX doesn't leave you behind either. You get a full suite of driver assistance features like adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and a 360-degree camera system. But Plymouth smartly tuned these systems to be unobtrusive, so they don't get in the way of the raw driving experience when you don't want them. Now let's get into pricing. Plymouth knows they're entering a competitive field with cars like the Dodge Challenger's next evolution, the Mustang Dark Horse, and Chevy's future Camaro plans, so they've priced the GTX aggressively. The base V8 model starts around $58,000, which is honestly a strong value given the performance numbers. Step up to the performance trim with the high-output V8 and optional AWD, and you're looking at around $72,000 to $75,000. The hybrid performance variant is positioned in the mid-60s depending on options. Fully loaded with premium interior materials, top-tier sound system, carbon trim, and track package, you're pushing closer to $85,000. While that's not cheap, when you compare it to European competitors offering similar horsepower, it still feels like a deal. At the end of the day, the 2026 Plymouth GTX is more than just a revival of an old badge. It's Plymouth's statement that muscle cars can evolve without losing their soul. The exterior design captures the aggression and presence of the original while updating it for modern aerodynamics. The interior blends muscle car simplicity with luxury and tech, making it livable for everyday use. And the performance, whether you're a V8 purist or open to hybrid technology, delivers thrills that are hard to beat in this price range. This car is going to appeal to both nostalgic Mopar fans and a whole new generation of performance enthusiasts.